Hello everyone and welcome to another of my YouTube videos. The wind is blowing away slowly. We're at the back end of Storm Amy and the job for today is to do a little bit of barley rolling. So before we can get on with that, we need to have a bit of a reorganisation in the shed. This time of year everything is sort of half dumped there without any real care and attention. We haven't got any room, the shed's full of everything. So I've pulled a few things outside to get a bit of room and to put them back in tidy. Before we do that though, I thought you'd just like to have a quick look around some of them. Brilliant. So we'll start with the 990, the tractor closest to hedge here, the 990. This is actually 3 tractors combined into one. So back in the day, I was given a fairly tatty, fairly tired 990 by a family friend. He said, if you want that, take it. And it was in every way tired. At the same sort of time, my father, while hedge cutting up the road, he noticed an old tractor sat in the hedge which had this thing here. So we've got 1, 2, 3 gear levers there, which is a 12-speed gearbox rather than the standard 6-speed gearbox of the day. As well as that was a couple of spool valves fitted. So David Brown enthusiasts will know that that spool valve there gives you power to those pipes there, which help with hydraulic top link or anything of the same. So this one had 2. We've left one on there. We've used one for another tractor. Last thing, the roll bar and the tin work came off another tractor. I found a tractor on eBay where the tin work was really tidy. So we combined all 3 of them into one. So the original engine from the original tractor combined with a 12-speed gearbox combined with tidy tin work. So after I got everything together, we put a couple of BKT's tyres on the back, which have really helped the job. And just the other day, these have done nothing yet. As you can see, we've still got knobbles on them. We put a pair of brand new tyres on the front because the old ones were absolutely tired. So this 990 has got quite a bit of specification to it. So we've got the early AD 447 engine, which is the same engine as you would find in the red 990. But what we have got is power assisted steering. As I've said, we've got 12-speed gearbox. So we've got 1, 2, 3, high and low, which gives us 6-speed. But we've also got this, which is effectively a splitter, which gives us an additional 6 speeds slower than what we already have. As I said, power assisted steering. We've got the big wheels, we've got 13.6 36s, and we've got the big skinny wheels on the front. These are real row crop wheels. At the back, we've got Cat 1 and 2 linkage. We've got the Selectomatic hydraulics, obviously, and as I said, we've got a spool valve fitted, which when ploughing makes a massive difference because it means I can use a hydraulic top link. This tractor is a general runaround tractor. It goes on the David Brown plough, it goes on a baler every now and again, on a hay bob, and generally on the smaller, lighter bits of kit. And I wouldn't be without it. It's a real handy tractor. So next up is the David Brown 996. Came with a full set of weights, which I've never taken off. Again, I've put a new set of tyres all round. I am a bit of a BKT fan. These seem to do a real good job. I am very happy with these. Back and forth BKT tyres. So we've got a 62 horsepower 4-cylinder David Brown engine. We've got fairly tidy tin work all the way around. One of the problems with the engine, if I can show you here, if we zoom into there, you'll see around that plug there we are there, that the block is cracked and it is weeping a little bit. It does weep a little bit of oil out, water rather. So yeah, we could fix it. But I can't bring myself to take it apart really. It starts, it drives, it uses next to no water. It's fine in the scheme of things. Keep it topped up, there's no real issue. It's got fitted the VQ cab. So this was the Mark II Q cab that David Brown made. And as you can tell, it's got the wider top to the cab and the square door rather than this great big silly door that we'll come back to in a minute. So what did the 996 do for me? Well, as you can see, it's on the baler. I've just hitched it on to move it rather than been using it on the baler. It does do a bit of work for me on the baler. VQ cab, it's not the quietest of places, it's not the most comfortable of places, but in the day, I don't think there was that much wrong with it. It goes on the baler, it does a little bit of rolling, it does a little bit of chain harrowing. It's a busy tractor in the middle of haymaking, and it's an all-round handy, powerful, gutsy little tractor for its size. So next up, the big 1212. This came from the David Brown Tractor Club auction. I saw it, and on the day I fell in love with the thing and I bought it, and believe it or not, I drove it home from Meltham up in Yorkshire all the way down to here, which took a absolute age, but there we go. I was younger and dafter back in the day. So if you know your registrations, GJL, the JL stands for Lincolnshire, and that will be confirmed by the fact that it started off in Lincolnshire tractors back in the day, and it is a fairly early David Brown case 1212. What does this do? Well, it goes on the fert spinner because we've got the cab for it. Again, haymaking. Again, a little bit of ploughing. Every now and again, this will go on the 4-furrow Fiscus 4-cylinder David Brown engine. This time, though, we've got the inline pump rather than the rotary pump. This tractor hasn't been completely faultless. We did the head gasket on this last year, but it is an all-round handy tractor. Now, you'll look at me and say, that cab is an absolute horrendous thing, and it is, to be truthful. Try to squeeze yourself in there is a bit of a pain. Once you're in, it's fairly comfortable. Once you're in, it's not so bad, but the noise, as you can imagine, is massive. It is absolutely deafening to be in there for a day, as was everything of the time. What you're going to do, that's how it was back in the day. Back in the day, people like my father who remember these new would have been happy to have some shelter from the elements and a bit of safety if the thing was to go over. That is a rollover protected cab. So it's got the big 16.934 tyres on it, which were back in the day big chunky tyres, and it's got the original Goodyear radial tyres, which are dead handy. So what else have we got? We've got just Cat 2 on this. This today has got the fert spinner behind it. I use it because of the lack of back window. I can just lean over and open and shut the fertilizer spreader without the need to take windows off and all that type of palaver. So the big selling point for the 1212 back in the day was this thing. So on the dashboard here, we have this little lever here. So we've got the main gear lever, which gives us 1, 2, 3 in reverse. And for each of those gears, we have this, which is what they called Hydra Shift, which is the equivalent of today's modern power shift. So we can put it into 1, 2, 3 or reverse. And in those gears, we've got 2, 3, 4 gears and back again to first. So we've effectively got power shift. This tractor is absolutely useless around the yard because of that. David Brown people amongst us will know, to save damage to the Hydra Shift, the rule is every time you move this from forward to back or 1 to 2 to 3, put this back into first. So imagine that on a loader tractor or something, it would be an absolute nightmare of a thing. However, in the field, on something like a little baler, at the time, it was without its match. It was an absolute handy thing. So you could just, by moving that lever, no foot on the clutch, it would just pick up speed or drop down speed. Absolutely spot on. So carrying on in the theme of Hydra Shift, this is the 1390, which is a bit of a rarity with Hydra Shift. Only about 390 odd of these were made. I talked to you about this in a previous video where it was rolling some barley for me. This is a tractor I bought from Facebook Marketplace a couple of 3 years ago. I saw pictures of it, fell in love with it and bought it. Unfortunately, we have got a few Hydra Shift problems with this, but they will be sorted over winter with a bit of luck. I'm sure there'll be a few videos talking about that. This is effectively the new version of that there. So if you went and bought a 996, and then when the time came to part exchange that, if you wanted like for like in the early 80s, you would sell the 996 and you would have bought the 1390. Very similar engine, very similar gearbox, unless of course you've got one of the rare ones which have got Hydra Shift. The back end is virtually the same, the hydraulics and the like on the back are virtually the same. All round handy tractor, as are they all really. And last but not least for today is what happened to David Brown towards the end. They became Case and they Case International. This is one of the last 1494s built. As the bonnet tells you, this also is a Hydra Shift. You'll notice that it's got brand new tyres on, absolutely brand new with the knobble still on. There are the old ones, which are going away later on today. And this is, or was certainly, our only frontline tractor properly for a long time. When my father cut down on his work a bit, the 1410 that we've got in the back of the shed went on the hedge cutter semi-permanently, and this did everything else. So where did this tractor come from? Those of you that went to Harper Adams might remember this. When I went there as a student, I saw this there, fell in love with it, and pestered everyone until I could buy it. It's come home and it's done a good bit of work for us in the time. We've done a bit of ploughing with it. We're in the middle of doing a bit of sowing with it. We've got the Amazon drill on there, which will be probably my next video towards the end of the week. Stay tuned for that. And it is a real handy frontline, powerful, gutsy little thing. Considering it's got four-wheel drive, the traction on it is absolutely brilliant. It should be better now with these new tyres. What we got there is an 82 odd horsepower 4-cylinder engine, this time with turbo. It's got the front set, full set of original weights on the front. It's a fairly tidy thing all round. I've taken that off there. That needs to go back in there today probably. The paintwork is starting to let it down. It could do with a spruce up, which I fully intend to do, but time is always the issue. And for now, it's on the Amazon drill, which I'll talk to you more about in the next few days. So there we go. That was a real quick whistle-stop tour of 5 of the tractors that I use in my agriculture contracting business. Those of you that follow me on TikTok will know that it's not only these, there are other ones. But I thought as these were out here in a line, I thought I'd just have a quick chat to you around them. Lovely. Thank you all for following. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for tuning in. Next time, I think we're going to show you that we've ploughed and sowed this field that we stood on at the minute. So that drill behind the Amazon will be doing stuff. But for now, we're going to unhitch everything, put things away, get things tidy in the shed, and roll a bit of barley this afternoon. Right then, thank you all for tuning in. Have a nice day, everyone. Goodbye.